After Cafe, where the stay shape. Let's find out in every conversation explores the art of thinking beyond the obvious. And today I have my special guest. One of his advocacy, humanity, the spore of Earth consciousness. What if everything you thought you knew about evolution was missing its most radical chapter? My work fingers theory of conscious growth proposes. Wow, what will you propose, Mr. Mark? None other than Mr. Mark Christensen.
Thank you very much.
Welcome, Mr. Mark. On Abstract
Thank you
Essay,
for
and can
having
you,
me here.
yes, and can you please introduce more about yourself that I missed?
I'm a I'm a pioneer of many things. I pioneered dancing when I was younger. Got into music. Pioneered skateboarding. I pioneered uh, snowboarding, both Olympic sports now. Then got into music. I thought my message would be better said through lyrics, and then that was very difficult. So I took on filmmaking, screenwriting, and produced a few films and thought my message would be better that way, and then stumbled on actual science in the end here. It's really a mind blower for me, but um, fungus theory is where I'm at now.
Yes, and thank you for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world, Mr. Mark. Thank you for that fingers. So today let's talk about what is the purpose of the universe. If we look the universe through a purely scientific lens as a system obeying physical laws from a big bang to eventually heat death, does the concept of purpose even apply, or are we asking the wrong kind of question?
You're asking the perfect question. And there is one answer, and there's already evidence to not prove, sorry, to show that this is the possibility. The reason for the universe is to grow a consciousness to its maximum. And I call that maximum conscious growth. And the quickest, simplest explanation of why that's evident is because you and I are conscious enough today to have this conversation, but we weren't conscious enough 1,000 years ago, and we weren't conscious enough 1,000 years prior to have this particular conversation. So this is the evidence that it's about conscious growth and to its maximum. The other piece of evidence that is here to show why it's being grown to its maximum is the end of the planet by which you and I are conversing on right now. So there is a beginning and there is an end, and that's a system. And we already call it a solar system. So within that system, from the beginning and the end of Earth, it is supposed to grow the foundation of conscious growth as a premature consciousness. Then when we're able to leave Earth before the end of Earth occurs, we would then become a matured conscious growth, and then on the way to maximum conscious growth, whatever that is. And in my book, I have it kind of measured out to the Big Bang, or the beginning of light, all the way to the end of light. And science has estimated that the end of light starts occurring in 3 trillion years. So that's the window, 3 trillion years to grow consciousness to its maximum.
And Mr. Mark, is it is it the universe seems finely tuned to create stars, planets, and the complex chemistry necessary for life, or does this apparent fine tuning suggest a purpose directed toward creating life and observers, or is it simply a fortunate accident in a vast multiverse?
Oh no, it's a well-intended design. It's called cosmonosis, and this is where you intend to grow the growth of consciousness before you actually start it. Uh, the entire universe, the design of the universe is what I call hidden true origin. So it's made of atoms, and everything else is made of those atoms. in a way that whenever one being or any being can become intelligent enough to determine that they're in this world of consciousness, it cannot find its true origin through any physics. And this is extremely important because if you and I completely knew where we came from, well, we would just pack up and go home now. I guarantee it, because life is scary and it's challenging and it's meant to be that way. But eventually your own life will, you'll pass away one day, and that's a scary event. So why wait that event when you can just go home now? So all of the atoms, all of the expanding matter and the development of matter in the universe is designed to hide that true origin from you and I, so we stay here and complete our duties. Whatever actions we commit is a contribution to the growth of consciousness.
Interesting, Mr. Mark. Interesting indeed. From cosmic evolution, we see a story of increasing complexity from particles to atoms, stars to planets, chemistry to life, life to consciousness. Is the universe purpose perhaps to become conscious of itself through entities like us?
Those are really wonderful unified concepts, and they make us feel like we have a purpose, a unified purpose, if the whole universe is a conscious thing. But it really is about biology and the growth of consciousness from nothing to extremely, extremely intelligent. So if you look at it biologically, then you can see, factually, you can see the growth of consciousness only can occur biologically. So rock, matter, and all that stuff are just the foundation by which you can grow the biology in order for the biology to become maximum conscious growth one day.
Mhm. Yes, definitely. Entropy tells us the universe is moving toward disorder, yet life creates local packets of incredible order. Is purpose found in the temporary rebellion against entropy, or does entropy ultimately render any purpose void?
Uh, Entropy is can be looked at as the engine of constant stimulation to develop technology. And the reason why you want to look at technology as significant, the most significant thing that we have, is because our growth, as I described earlier, 2,000 years ago to 1,000 years ago to today, that conscious growth only occurred from one innovation to the next, to the next, to the next. So you and I cannot grow consciously without the next discovery. So
Mhm.
uh,
Yes,
I'm getting lost in the question, but
yes, about entropy.
basically, yeah, entropy.
Yes.
So that is a stimulus for the growth of technology. So you and I can grow consciously. And whether it's, I hate to say it, whether it's a third world war, a pandemic, whatever it might be, all of these things are the stressors that enforce the growth of technologies and innovation. So then we can, after that, grow consciously. And it's just like that. It's technology, grow, then we grow consciously, then we get more technology and grow consciously. And whoever designed this expanding universe to do this, you could tell that we as humans are trying to make Earth a heaven where we don't have to work so much, where we're relaxed all the time, we become couch potatoes. This is the grand ideal for each human being. But if we do that, it's all destined to not get off the earth by the time the earth, you however the earth ends, we have to get off. So this stimulus, this entropy you're talking about, is constant chaos to keep us active with the invention process to become conscious enough to leave. It's self motivating. It's externally motivating as well. Whoever designed this, whoever created this, instilled that so that we would become successful with conscious growth.
Mr. Mark, let's talk about philosophical and existential angles, do we as a conscious beings imbue the universe with purpose by asking this question, or are we uncovering a purpose that exists independently for us?
Um, are you talking about like souls and then the afterlife?
Yes, please.
Yeah, there's a couple of theories. Because of hidden true origin, like I expressed earlier, we should, and you shouldn't want to ever really nail that down. Because once you do, the motivation to continue and do what we need to do goes away, and we would just go home. So when it comes to spirituality and the afterlife, it's always going to be a metaphysical philosophy that kind of blends many together. It will never be a definitive thing. That would destroy what we've done so far as human beings. It would destroy the future of continuing. So my take on that is that whatever the human needs to feel comfortable about being placed in this perhaps condition that you didn't really ask for, maybe we didn't really sign up for this, to be placed in that condition, I think we're allowed to really create a belief behind any of that because there shouldn't be any evidence whatsoever.
And Mr. Mark, many philosophers argue that purpose is a human construct we project into a neutral reality. Is that true? Is it searching for universal purpose, a profound endeavor, or a fundamental category error?
It isn't about the individual. That's one thing to really to consider. So the individual, you and I, are 60% made up of historical things, genetics, a lineage, and a culture that has taught us to be who we are. 30% of us are adapting to today. So that's 90%. Only 10% of you and I are actually authentic. And once you realize that reality, then you can start to see that you're really part of a supercluster of humans. And if that's the goal, then it's about the entire collective growing consciously. It's about the collective conscious growth, not so much the individual. That's why there's so many of us contributing. And it takes every single perspective, whether you're poor, extremely rich, uh, mentally uh, disabled, or just intelligent. All of these contribute to this supercluster of collective conscious growth. So it's about all of us being one mind, really.
One mind, yes, indeed. And Mr. Mark, could the purpose of the universe be astonishingly simple, like the experience of existence itself or the unfolding of beauty and pattern? And we complicate it by seeking a grand anthropocentric answer.
It's about conscious growth. It's like a plant. So if you're going to grow an apple tree and eat an apple, you have to have the roots first, you have to have the trunk second, then you have to have the branch third, and then it can produce a fruit. You can't ask for the fruit when you're in the trunk building stage. So if we are a growing product, which I would say we are an enforced growth product called conscious growth, not consciousness, conscious growth. They're two different things. Consciousness is a state. Look at it like a static state, like, oh, I'm unconscious. Oh, now I've regained consciousness. See, so now that you've regained it, you're static, but it never really is. The truth is that you and I are constantly getting more information and more experience. So we're always in a growth process with consciousness. It's conscious growth. So with that being the product that the universe is building, because all the animals are destined to incinerate with the earth. This is on the calendar. Everything's up for incineration. So why is this meeting with you and I important? It's important because we have the chance for just you and I to and our lineage to eventually escape this encompassing doom of the end of Earth. That's what it's all about. And that's the only thing that's forcing us to become more conscious growth.
Conscious growth indeed. And Mr. Mark, what will be your short term and long term goals as an author or any other things that you want to attain?
Yeah. Outside my control, because it is conscious growth, I become more conscious when I share with you. So it's just it's like a fungus, and more ideas solidify newer ideas and more evidence. So it's just going to be growing until until my days is over. I just hope to contribute to the idea and the understanding of why we're really here as humans. It's becoming more apparent to me, and I hope I can help everybody understand that reality. And hopefully that gives us some kind of unity, like, hey, we all know why we're here. We're here to get off. And I'm not the only one that said that. Carl Sagan also said that.
Yes, good luck to your goals, Mr. Mark, and looking forward for more success. And what would be your piece of advice for those people out there who want to be like you?
Um, well, I wouldn't want anybody to really be like me. Uh, I would like people to be like them,
Yes.
because you are the solitary contributor to the collective conscious growth. Like I am, I have my place in it, but everybody is important. Every single being that has come into existence is what the fungus needed. So that's why it exists, along with all the events that cause us to move forward with technology. So we can go into outer space and continue living and go on to into the cosmos and tell the story of all that was on Earth.
Yes. And thank you for that advice, Mr. Mark. And can you please recommend a book or books that influence you, Johnny?
I mean, books that have influenced me.
Yes, please.
Well, I've read the Haynes Repair Manual for Porsche 911 many times. And then there's also a director's book. I'm forgetting the title. I've read a book on how to be a director. I really haven't been a reader in my life. I've been a participator, uh, and I try to base my experience off real people, real situations. Of course, I've done a lot of reading, but not really just entire books.
Yes, definitely. And Mr. Mark, thank you so much for that recommended book. The role of life and consciousness. If the purpose is tied to life, what does inevitable extinction of all life say about the purpose? Is it transient purpose or is still meaningful?
In the end, in 3 trillion years, if humanity survives its own, the death of its planet continues, which I believe it will, and it just becomes like a Star Trek kind of existence. If that's all that it is, and if we can reach that, then that's the minimum of what surviving the Earth would be. And we live those 3 trillion years. There's no more light in the universe. There's no stars to go to or come from. So how would you have any reason to live? I'm not saying that's the end, but it's one way to gauge. So at that time, whoever created this condition called conscious growth, whoever created that, must be in for a kind of a harvest in the end. And I call that the unigalactic conscious harvest.
Unigalactic. Wow, so impressive. Galactic indeed. And tell us, Mr. Mark, historically, our understanding of the universe has constantly demoted our central place in it. Does the search for purpose reassert a kind of cosmic significance of humanity, or can we let that go?
Co- uh, Cosmic significance. Well, you are always the significance of cosmic reactivity. We are we are really the biological end result of setting up the foundation cosmically, so we would be biologically grown to this period of time where you and I can talk about it. And the specific of your question again?
Yes, historically, our understanding the universe has constantly demoted our central place in it. Does the search for purpose reset a kind of cosmic significance for humanity?
Well,
Or can we let
eh,
it go?
no, you learn more about your significance as time goes on, and that's been shown through history, and that's why religion refines itself as time goes on. Uh, in the future, and this is just a skit, a child goes to his mother and says, "Mom, um, what's the Bible?" And the mother pauses for a minute. And she goes, "Oh yeah, that's right. At one time humanity believed in a book." And the child says, "Oh, that's weird," and walks away. A few minutes later, the child comes back to the mother and says, "Mom, what's the book?" So this is a potential future reality of where we will be going as we become more conscious as human beings. And because of hidden true origin, and these are the physics, we'll never know anymore why we've been placed here and where we go when we die than we do today. This will be the constant that fuels the motivation to do two things: develop technology and become conscious of that technology that we produce. And this is enforced through adaptation of near misses, or just, the end of life circumstances are always before us. And we're hoping that the earth eventually burns up, because really there's five other things that can come in to really end human civilization: a meteorite, another pandemic, self-annihilation. All these things can end us early. So hopefully we have these, what I say, 250 million years to really come together as a unified humanity, understand this outcome is the purpose of life, and that together we can create a situation to survive our very natural end of our planet.
Interesting, Mr. Mark. And before we wrap up our discussion for today, I'm inviting you to please do listen to my other podcast, people, my other podcast, because my abstract essay is already in fifth season, abstract poetry in second season, and my book 101 to be in fifth season too, comedy 101 in second season, and my food 101 in sixth season this December, geography 101, love letters. Movie 101, Music 101, our fourth season, Science 101, Sex 101 in its second season, and my baby podcast, Mental Health 101, Law 101, Bible Verses 101, and Entrepreneurship 101. Please listen to them wherever you listen your podcast. So, Mr. Mark, to wrap up our discussion, ultimately, is it relentless human to drive to ask why? This is a search for purpose, itself a key piece of evidence in answering the question. Why? The big why.
Well, each individual has their own individual experience, and because of hidden true origin, that imposes a condition on our psychology, and I call that, right there. Go back down. Yeah, right here. The wheel of cognitive identity.
This one.
Go back to that circle. No, the circle.
Hmm.
See that, right? The void of psychosis. Really important to
Yes.
understand what that is. Everything else in that circle are nature, history, reproduction. All these things are concrete identity factors, but there's one missing. We really don't know where we came from, and that's a void. So those void get filled with all the elements. And if you scroll down this pie, this supplemental pie here on the right, if you scroll down just a little farther, you'll see, yeah, there's the pie. Now, these are all the things that we do to compensate for this void of psychosis. And it's psychosis literally, meaning not reality. Well, basically, what psychosis means, it's not reality. So you and I fabricate to to try and fill in the void for what we don't know. And the reason for that is that we wouldn't create things that are new if we weren't psychotic. So every invention is a part of psychosis. It's kind of a crazy idea that you're not sure should exist, but when you try, it does, and then it helps further technology and prolong life. So, and the other way of looking at the word of psychosis is everything in between murder and Musk. So you have every factor of people involved in kind of a dreamy state of mind that's not reality in order to make new things. And that's how invention and innovation actually occurs, through the void of psychosis.
To the void of psychosis. And thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world, Mr. Mark. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, can you please invite our listeners to support your advocacy, your books, your podcast, or whatever projects that you are doing right now?
Well, you can always go buy the book on Amazon. That's all I really have for now, but I'm working on a new book called Cosmonosis,
Mm-hmm.
the, the Intention of a Universe. I'm also working on the scientific paper on fungus theory, and also fungus theory explained, because this is quite a difficult thing to get in an hour. I'm trying to find a way to explain it in 100 pages, and that'll be easier to reading and understand later on. So
Yes. Yes, people, let's support Mr. Mark Christensen, because if you support him, for sure, more and more empowering books to come, more and more empowering advocacy like this to come. So, Mr. Mark, thank you so much for your time.
thank you for having me on. It's been great. Thank you.
More to come, people. See you soon.